welcome to Sporty FM.
Thank you.
And all this, before when we get into the evolution in Kenya in terms of sports marketing, some of storytelling, Musa, how did you get into all this? How did it begin for you?
I'm just a guy who knew what I was good at, and I just went for it.
Things. Thank you. It is you.
Yes, I said exactly that. I knew what I was good at, and I just went for it. From the first time choosing to get into journalism, watching YouTube at the time, 2000, and when I finished high school around 2013, 14 times, watching Copper 90, and I actually got onto Copper 90 for a while. I was doing some stuff for them back in the day. And once I saw that this thing was possible the first time, I just never turned back. And for me, I'm never turning back. So the sports industry is my life, it's my love. And so lucky for me, I'm good at it.
Good
At
stuff.
least speaking and the business side of it.
Okay.
I was never quite the athlete in my youth, to be fair.
How did you end up at LA?
At LAFC. So while I was in school, I had a classmate who worked there. She was stage something, so like match present. She worked in match presentation, which is basically organizing the kids that come on in the beginning, making sure that the advertising boards are showing the right sponsors. If we're going to have like Hispanic Heritage Night, there's something that's going to happen at halftime. This is America, by the way. So like Major League Soccer, like there's always going to be something at halftime. You know, they have the classic American experiences, we know, like the kiss cam or the lookalike, whatever. Those things actually do happen. So organizing that and like bringing in the banners and all of those things. So she worked doing that. And when I finally got my work permit over there as a student, it takes a while. I was just like, this is where I want to work. And actually, when I was leaving the country, my parents asked me like, utaenda hapo unasoma sports management, utafanya kazi wapi? I was like, you just wait. I'm going to work. I'm going to work at a football team. I'm going to work at a football team called Los Angeles Football Club. You just wait. I'll send you pictures. And so I got lucky that my classmate, and the good thing about the program I took, like everybody in your class works somewhere and they're willing to help you. They've got a really good culture over there. The teachers are really good people as well. So you'd find like your professor is the director of sponsorship at the Lakers, for example. Yeah. And that's actually one of my professors. I think he's now moved to a different whatever, but at the time, January 2024, I took that class. He worked at the Lakers. So getting opportunities to meet the hiring managers and stuff like that happens pretty quickly. So through my classmate, I got an interview, and from then on, unajibeba tu. You just have to carry yourself and do your best.
Good stuff. So first of all, Musa, if you're ever going to try a kiss cam in Kenya, just make sure you have life insurance, because there's a lot of homes either you're going to break or make. So that's the difference between here and the United States. A kiss cam here can expose a lot of things.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, the kiss cam is just for the stadium. Yeah, those are just in-stadium experiences. Those are not broadcast at halftime.
Bro, do you know Kenya? In that same stadium, you have 3 families. You have 3 different girlfriends or boyfriends.
We've seen those times where like guys have been caught being sneaky a little bit.
There you go.
And they just cover their faces immediately.
Right then, so you've talked about working with the LA Football Club, yeah? Los Angeles Football Club, right there, and the experience of being a community relations assistant. Bringing it back to Kenya, all right, in terms of the evolution of marketing in Kenya, have you seen a change in the last 5 to 10 years in terms of how sports is being marketed in Kenya?
Objectively, I have to say yes, in the last 5 to 10 years, because you think about 10 years ago, it was pretty bad, you know. But I've been lucky, like you've just listed the places that I've worked. I've been lucky to meet a lot of really, really high quality people. I'm not going to sit here, I come here today and like start pointing fingers, be like, oh, people have failed, you know. Is there room for people to do better? Certainly.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the sports business particularly, I would say there's like 1 or 2 brands that are doing well, but the sports business is like every single team in a league. That's a business that is in the sports business that should be operating fully like a regular business would in their marketing departments and everything, as opposed to just focusing on we just need to survive, which I think a lot of clubs are just doing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of sports industries and organizations are doing, they're just surviving as opposed to being run properly in a way that from the top to the bottom, it's being structured in a way that people, because sports is here for us to enjoy.
Yeah.
It's entertainment at the end of the day, and if you can't market it properly, it won't work properly, you know. But I think there are some good things. There are. I'm not one to come sit here and say it's horrible and everything needs to change. Is there room for growth? Certainly.
So in terms of room for growth, what do you think is lacking? At least because you've been abroad, you've seen what people are doing there, aside from the Americanization.
Oh, the Americanization of sport is the only way to go. I personally
because
believe
they're very
that
flamboyant with how they do things, yeah?
They create experiences that are unforgettable. I mean, you realize that like 60,000 people go watch 19-year-old kids play in the middle of a farm in Iowa, you know? And there's a reason for that. So Americanization of sport, particularly, so like the sports we love, you're wearing a Juventus shirt right now, you know. Football is the most universal sport and it's loved everywhere, you know. And why we are such huge supporters of European football is because of how it's been marketed and the quality. Let's be honest, it's the quality, but the Premier League is the most popular because of how they marketed it in the early 90s, making it just the ultimate spectacle to watch, you know. So football will always be loved, but the other sports you have to now branch out. I mean, what the hell is baseball? You know so much about it, but they've created such a way that going to a ball game it's called America's favorite pastime, you know. Going to a baseball game is something that it's an experience you have to do. So the experiencing of a match day event or a sporting event is, I think that's where we need to focus on as Kenya growing and just creating unforgettable experiences that keep people coming back for more. I mean, people buy season tickets. I used to sit next while at the club I worked at, I used to know this guy Alex. He had a season ticket and he bought a season ticket for him and his girlfriend because he knows that that's a date weekend every week. You know, we're going to the game, we're going to have this, we'll be out, you know. The team has experiences for us to do. We used to have fan festivals, that occasional home games, of course the bigger ones, the derbies. When Messi is in town, we'd have the fan fest and stuff like that. So that's a date as well, you know. That's a day for the family to come out. So just creating a way that people can keep coming back, and you buy a season ticket, you're hooked in for the whole season, and you don't even have to pay the first day. You just put down a deposit, and as the season goes on, you
pay in installments.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that's brilliant. Now, the idea of community, bringing it back now to Kenya now. America's favorite pastime is baseball. I can tell you for free, Kenya's pastime is nothing to do with sports.
That is true.
Thank you very much. At least you know that. Now,
it's watching sports at a bar.
It's watching sports at a bar. Exactly. So there's a combination of things. There's the excitement of what you're having, what you're consuming, and watching it there with your friends and family. Now, if you're given that task, for example, this weekend we have Mahia versus FC Leopards, the biggest derby in Kenya, and you're told from a marketing and relations perspective, turn this one game to an event whereby we can even get people to fill in Nyayo Stadium or Kasarani, for example, even if we are being a bit too ambitious.
Well, not really, right?
What are the things that you can do in that game itself to turn it just from a 1,000 or a 2,000 attendee of fanatics to it being a community event? Bring your family, bring your friends. Some of the things you can do for that game, for example.
Well, for starters, the Mahia and AFC Leopards game particularly is currently a sellout, actually. That game is particularly popular. The young people have taken to attending live games. And so what you do is, first of all, you create a fan zone where people can come hours before the game. You get your DJ, you've got your sponsors. And your sponsors are sponsors of the two individuals. So like the team that's hosting the home game, let's say Mahia is home. Mahia has their sponsors, and they should have sponsors that range from the guys who give them the bus, their bus, an auto sponsor, you know, a car sponsor, for example. You have drink sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
And these are not like just sponsors on the day. These are full-time sponsors on partners that you've had, that you've been building a relationship with, you know. And you have those sponsors create activations. So now, like, say for example, what's a good one? Let's say Isuzu is the bus, whatever, sponsor, right?
Yeah.
They could have a little show or a room for themselves, because the sponsor themselves, they need to gain something from that.
Some traction from that.
Yes, and have a little goal thing where people come and kick it into the goal, you know. Just something fun for people to do. I'm sure kids would line up for that all the time. I remember what we used to do. We used to have a big dartboard, a giant inflatable dartboard, like 6, 7 to 10 meters tall. And people would line up to try hit the bullseye.
Yes.
Long line to do that. And it's free. It's just there for fun, you know. You have these little, what are they called? So basically 2 people sit across from one another, and there's a ball, and each of you have a goal in your whatever. And you're just trying to chobo and score each other, you know, just some fun activations like that. I remember.
This is all pre-game.
Yeah. And you have your food trucks, your ice cream trucks, you know, your smoky guy or whatever it is. And these are licensed vendors. I think one of the biggest things that during Chan, that in the first few games that I attended, there was no food at all. You know, so you have licensed vendors, and that's another way to get revenue for the club, you know. So you have your licensed vendors, basically just treating it exactly like a concert. But you have the event before that, and then an hour and a half before kickoff, the gates are opened, and inside the stadium you've got more food and stuff like that being sold. That's a place where children can come. You've got bouncing castles for children and stuff like that, face painting, just the classic stuff that
kids enjoy.
I mean, I don't know what the kids for these days enjoy, by the way. It's a totally different era. It's a totally different era.
So that's the pre-game. We get into the game. Halftime in America is everything. We were just watching right here the LA Lakers in terms of the
cheerleaders, the
cheerleaders.
Oh yeah,
they're doing the dance as a quarter time show, not a halftime show.
Being a Laker girl.
Lakers girls were there, and we actually Queen Nikki was telling me about it. It's a career.
They're actual dancers.
Dude, being a Laker girl, like you're making $100,000 a year. Like you're basically you are a professional dancer, and every single day you wake up, you go to practice the entire season, the entire length of the season.
Yes.
Considering NBA has 82 games pre-season, I mean regular season only, so that's 41 home games over the space of. It started last night, right? So that's October 22nd, and the regular season ends in March.
Yes.
In 5 months, you have 40 games. You're a professional dancer. They wake up, they go to training every day. They practice like in the movies, like, you know, just exactly like they do in the movies, yes.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it's a very prestigious thing to do as well. Like not anybody can be a Laker girl. They hold auditions. They hold auditions over a long period of time.
And this is a franchise. This is just the other teams.
Every single NBA and NFL team has cheerleaders. I actually had a classmate who was she did that for her university. She was in dance. That's what they call it.
You graduate as a proper professional.
No. She went to school on a dance scholarship. So she went to study regular stuff, and then she was on the dance and whatever.
You know, we're talking about baseball, huh? And there's something in baseball that they do that I don't know if it can work here in terms of, I mean, you're better at it. So in baseball, they have certain days where you get to interact with the players. You come as a family. And then they also have days where you can bring your pets. I think with the Padres, they usually have certain days where every player comes with their dog.
They have lots of stuff.
Yeah, you bring your dogs, and you have like play dates for their animals and you interact with the teams,
Right.
so that you can get to know the teams, because you see, bringing in trading players in baseball happens all the time. So sometimes there are like 2-3 players they've brought in from the Caribbean that they need you to be familiar with. You understand?
Imagine that.
So they have all
Fun
these,
day.
they have all these basically like
yeah,
fun
yeah,
days.
they do. I think this happened in Tanzania. They had Simba Day and Yanga Day earlier this season. The Tanzanian guys and their sports, particularly in football, those two teams are, and Azam as well, they're miles ahead of the game. But yeah, they had a Simba Day. I don't know if they had the exact thing like puppies and stuff like that, but they did have a day where it was just like a fun day. The players were around.
Do you think that's something we need to implement in Kenyan teams, especially to bring the knowledge of
who's
actually playing in these teams?
Yeah, so that's now like building the community.
Correct.
Yes, and that is honestly if you want to start a football club, or if you want to start a fan base, if you want to grow a fan base, you have to start with the community. People who feel like this is something that they're a part of. That's exactly what humans need. You know, we are creatures of, we are social creatures. You know, we need to feel like we're a part of something. You know, and so a club is the perfect thing. You know, you watch them play your favorite sport. That's only one thing, but like you said, these baseball teams and stuff like that, so they'll have like for example, Hispanic Heritage Night, and then the Hispanic people in the community will come, and then not only them, but like everybody who's at the game that day will be served a different type of food, and you know, have a different type of experience. They'll have like Otani bobblehead day, where if you come to the game, the first 10,000 people will get like a bobblehead thing, something to take home.
10,000 people.
Oh well, yeah, the Dodgers, they're selling out the stadium every week.
And those tickets are expensive.
And they're 81
guys in Kasarani to watch a game, a local league game.
To be fair,
that's brilliant.
I think it's possible. I was actually thinking about the same thing on my way here.
Right.
If a club owned their own stadium, 10,000 or 5,000, or let's say 8 to 10,000, 8,000 regular, then you have 2,000 seats for like upselling those ones to exorbitant prices, you know. There are 18 teams in the league right now, so you have 17 home games. 17 times you over the space of 10 months. That's like one game every 2 weeks. That's like basically a bi-weekly event you're hosting.
Correct.
You can sell out 10,000 tickets, but I guess maybe that's ambitious. I might not even know what 10,000 people look like just by sight, you know, because the local events that people go to, I mean, the concerts and stuff like that, I'm not exactly sure what the numbers are, but those could be like 2,000-3,000 people. Like what do you
like 5,000 to 8,000, let's say,
for like a blankets and wine, or like a Oktoberfest that happened? What are those numbers like, you know?
Give it between 2,000 to 5,000. Give or take.
Okay, do you think you can sell, and those tickets are particularly expensive. I mean, you sell a ticket, you just give it 1,000 and you sell 8,000 tickets. I think that's 8 million.
But you were here when you saw what happened during Chan.
Yeah, so
During
there's a
Chan
lot of,
was a very good example that Kenyans want to come to the stadiums and enjoy a game. Now, adding to what you've said, the community side of it, bringing in the families together, having all those activities, pre-game, halftime, and even after the game itself is something important. But now take that away, because Chan didn't have that holistically, unless it was the final. You still get Kenyans going to watch Harambee Stars in Kasarani, and even sometimes to be a sellout, and even sometimes there were no tickets. But that's only happening when there's an international organizer included in it. Now, my question to you, and that was just as a precursor, my question to you is, for example, rugby, the 7 circuits that happens in Kenya, where either it's in Nakuru, in Mombasa, in Nairobi, in Kakamega, there's always a higher showing of rugby fans, and there's always an activity of that day when you're attending a rugby event. So like you said, we'll have stands where guys are getting their beverages, however you want to get it. You have food stands, you have sponsor stands, whereby you'll find, for example, if it's a certain model of a car, let's use for example Isuzu, who have sponsored something to do with the Kabeberi Sevens here in Nairobi. You find them parking their cars there and getting customers, like you said, their return on investments. Why do you think that is only happening in certain games, for example, in only rugby, but yet it can be implied in football? Locally, that is.
To be fair, that is a great question. Rugby, I think the rugby organizers in the early 2000s, they hit a very, very good niche market that they found they had. They found like a group of people who loved rugby so much, to the point that they're willing to, as you said, travel around the country in these circuits.
Yes, as a circuit.
And the organization. It's to put it quite simply, and to be honest, not having food at a game is insane. Like, you can't really commend people for they've got food stands. Of course they have food stands, but I mean, that's how you're supposed to treat people. There needs to be access to food and stuff like that. And rugby, they manage their market pretty well. The people who like rugby love rugby.
Correct. And
they're willing to go above and beyond for it. Football, we have so many, what's the word, maringo, tukona maringo,
Hello. Good.
Like, why should I go watch man in KPL, like in KPL, nini, yeah. But the truth is, we have to start loving our own game. And the good thing about Chan was that it was exclusively for local players. So there's a bunch of guys who are loved and stuff like that now. And I expect attendance to go higher. And I think Nicolette, we had spoken earlier on about this. KPL particularly, or should I call them the Sport Pesa League right now? That's what they're known by. They are doing a particularly good job. They launched the league a couple of weeks ago. But I think there's a lot of work left to do by the clubs. Like, the league can have all the good intentions, but the clubs themselves, say for example, I've heard a lot of complaints online about like Shabana's jersey. The quality, like right now at least they're selling it for themselves, that's good. Every club should have their own store and official merchandise. But I'm hearing now complaints that the quality is not good. And I'm not slandering Shabana, by the way. I'm just saying what I've heard. I'm not, So it's something like that, like we still have a lot of maringo here at sports. So like somebody will be like, mbona niende.
But to be fair, let me defend Shabana a bit. To be fair, Manchester United, if you're buying an original jersey, will cost you 12k.
More than.
So the quality has to go according to the pricing.
Yes, but let me tell you,
Shabana should do like a 7,000 bob ticket, any jersey.
Nah, that's even too much. That's too much. You can get a high quality shirt for like 2,000-3,000 shillings. Even that's a lot. But then
by the time you manufacture in
trust me, you can.
In Africa, like 5,000.
No. Let me tell you. The only reason the Manchester United jersey is 85, 95 euro, pound, whatever, is because of the name Manchester United, not because Adidas have put something extra cool and fancy. All of that is, yes, there is a difference between the match day shirt, the shirt worn by the players, and the shirt that is sold in the store. But they still sell the shirt in the store for $110 or something like that. It's literally exclusively the brand. It's my name, and I know you're gonna pay that money because it's Manchester United. I once we had a MLS kit launch day in 2024, and it was also the day Hugo Lloris was being announced. People lined up in and out, and that snake at the airport. Nini. Kwanza, if you're from an African country, and then you go whatever, that line for non-citizens. Let me tell you, to pay $200 for an MLS jersey.
Clean.
I was dumbfounded. And the guy comes out walking with 5. He said, I was in line because my wife is with the kids.
That's $1,000 spent on jerseys. 5 jerseys.
Yeah. And not including California tax, which is like an extra $100 on top of that. So and this is not a big team. This is not Barcelona or Madrid
or to be perfectly honest,
but to them it's a big team.
To them
it's a big team.
In LA, and I think we had just won the championship. No, we had just got to the second final in a row. And the previous 2022 we had won the championship. 2023 we got to the final. So this was now January or February 2024. It was one really fun event. Super fun. Guys lined up to take pictures. There was like free food and sandwiches. There was a concert. There was a comedian.
I say all those things
just for a kit launch.
Imagine for a kit launch right there. You're listening to Musa Amir right here, a sports management graduate, content creator, and marketing strategist. If you've just heard him just talking about LA in terms of the Los Angeles Football Club, he worked there as a community relations assistant, and also here in Kenya, KBC, DSTV, and Hebrew TV. And we've been talking about the evolution of sports marketing in Kenya and its pitfalls and where we can improve on. Now, from a content creator's perspective, we saw it in Chan, whereby Chan decided, you know what, let's flip the script. Let's not just go with conventional journalism. Let's get content creators in. People want to influence, people want to trend, you know, and even get them into the press briefings. At some point, you're there, you're seeing Kenya versus a certain team, you're seeing the representatives in front of there. Behind, people are taking selfies. Hashtag Chan 2024, 2025. So, and that got a lot of traction for Chan, not only in Kenya but also in Africa. Is that the way to go, whereby conventional journalism, yes, it is important, it is good, but now let's put in the risk factor of digital marketing through content creation, and yes, the hashtag, whether you like it or not.
Indeed it is, man. There's actually the Kenyan sports content creation scene is it's growing. It's there are many people in this scene, man, and I've been lucky enough to speak to some of them, to meet some of them, to be friends with some of them. Like Nicolette, for example.
Yes, like Nicolette, Queen Nikki. Queen really good.
Yeah, you know, and there's a good scene going. There's some people who are so determined, and I love to see them. And that's just the way to go, you know. You just have to keep pushing. But I agree, the future is that way, like using content creators, because traditional news is, as you said, important, yes, but let's be honest, if I want to know news, I'm going to look at my phone, you know, and in the space of 10 seconds I can find out who scored and whatever. But now most of the journalists are moving to become digital journalists, which is good too, you know. And the truth about the industry is it's just getting younger and younger. Yeah. A lot of our population in Kenya, just if we're talking statistically, you know, a huge population is younger than under the age of 30, 35 or something like that, you know.
Yeah. We're the opposite of what's happening.
So yeah, you know, the work scene is getting younger, and people are journalists. Like the title will be journalist, but it really is just a content creator, you know, because the main media houses as well are moving to this particularly in sports. Like sports, as I said earlier on, is entertainment. It's fun. It's not supposed to be some sort of, you know, I mean, even like you see the popular basketball shows for Kina Shaq and everything like that. Yes, they're there in suits and everything, but they're having a time. They're just enjoying themselves, you know.
I mean, I keep using this Pardon the Interruption. Have you ever watched that show, Pardon the Interruption? Do you know those guys? Yeah. Banter so hard. This guy who's always memed.
That's like half of the internet.
I'll show you.
I like that.
Do you know those guys banter so much on live TV? There's a time they even had to take a break because one of the guy literally caught a feeling. They literally went on a break.
Are you kidding me right now? So that guy could calm down.
I think there's
Is this a sports show?
Yes. It's an American.
Who's on it? I think I know the show, but I just need to tell me who's.
As she's checking for you who's on it right there. I mean, the traditional, like we've talked about, the traditional shifting focus from now radio, TV journalism into content creation. I mean, forever, us seated here, Queen Nikki and I, and other radio presenters, and it has always been the norm that it's radio presenting until you realize that someone can use this content elsewhere. Meaning we're actually creating content. Yes. But you see that evolution was not there before. And in sports, especially like I was telling you in Chan, I found it quite interesting. That yes, you can be in front there asking a Harambee Stars captain a proper journalistic question. Then there's someone behind here who just takes a video of that, posts it on Instagram or on TikTok or on YouTube, wherever it is, and creates a different caption about it. It garners more views or even more interactions than the guy who actually asked the formal Exact question.
Let me ask you guys one question to add on to what Joe is just asking. Do you think also we need to incorporate players into that? Because see, like when you look at across from European football all the way into American sports, you have a player in every team who becomes like a digital asset.
Yeah.
Do you think that's also something that we need to incorporate aside from just because you hear a podcast, you're interviewing, let's say a particular player that you're used to because you know this player talks more. So do you think that clubs also need to embrace that particular player and turn them into a digital asset?
Indeed. But you see now those things are not engineered, I think. It's just somebody's character is bigger than the player they were. You know? Your personality, like a guy like Shaq, for example, Charles Barkley, these guys were great players, but their personalities are even bigger, you know?
Right.
They come on air, they're entertaining people, and if you're using that aspect specifically for like using former players as assets in punditry or interviews, like how you'll see like Rio Ferdinand sits down with Bruno Fernandes or something like that, you know. But that's on Rios. That's only for Rio right now. Locally, it depends on what we talk about, like Mahia, for example. The funny thing is the afterlife of a football player in Kenya, you know. What happens after you're done?
It's shocking.
What happens to most of these guys, you know? You're employed by a club for a while, and then maybe you've made good enough money to set up a business or something like that, but you know, or maybe you're going back to school and stuff like that. But I think our content creation era or something, or not era, our age is still quite young, you know. So in a while, like when a player has been loved at a club for such a long time, for example, because you can't just get anybody to come and do anything, you know. But yeah, that's actually, and creating ambassadors from former players, and digital assets are a very funny thing as well, you know, because how often do you find a Kenyan player who's played in Kenya only that is now, or even has even gone abroad, that is still closely related to the club that they were in locally?
I mean, we can ask people right now, 0733222105. McDonald Mariga last evening was on one of the channels here that we pay to watch the Champions League paid subscription, and he was part of the panel. Everyone raves about McDonald Mariga. Right now he's in the FKF setup as a vice president. But at the same time, he played for Inter Milan. He actually won the Champions League under Inter Milan.
I recall.
Yeah. Ask before Inter Milan. Not many people will talk about it.
I think that Helsingborg.
Are you seeing how you've made your face right now?
Is it Helsingborg?
In Sweden,
Yeah, Helsingborg,
Before Sweden? He was discovered. So you see that heritage of where clubs can say, you know what, that's our alumni, that's our brand ambassador. He's there. I think Kenyan teams should start. If they have started, brilliant. If they haven't, some teams or most of the teams should start doing that. Like, that is a guy who used to play for us and won a Champions League. That's a guy who's played for us. Now he played in Southampton. He played in Celtic, Southampton, and now he played even in Tottenham. That is Victor Wanyama. So we should
also played in the Champions League final.
In the Champions League final, and also played in the MLS.
Indeed, at Montreal.
So I completely like that suggestion. That
that was Queen Nikki's though. She's quite good at this thing as well.
There you go. You said. And that's why we are the kickoff. That's why we're Sport FM. We go beyond sports and we talk about those matters. But yeah, from the content creation perspective, Queen Nikki, you're saying earlier on that the incorporation of players should be vital. Now, the training of those players, because again, there is a point of content creation that needs, you know, some sort of awareness.
That's actually,
it's crazy.
But to be fair, I mean, like these players, I mean, they're human beings. Anything can be learnt, you know.
Correct.
It's you go into a small session, you know, a media training, and you'll be not a small session, but like you learn over a period of time, and you have to practice as well. By the way, the best way to learn is to do and fail. You know, you can go to school and sit down and read everything, but practicing,
until you actually do it, that's when you.
Indeed. But another thing I was also saying is like giving, like particularly during Chan, there was that access for content creators to get official media passes and stuff like that. And it was good that it was a CAF tournament because AFCON is going to be a CAF tournament. We've got,
Correct.
I mean, obviously it will be, that's like saying Premier League will be an English tournament. So getting more of them now, just like giving access to people, because I mean, you look at, say for example, when FC 26, the PlayStation game is launching, they gave access to so many content creators to come, and players come to do those stuff.
Better version.
To get the beta versions and stuff like that, but just like the launch and all of these things, like granting content creators access. There's a guy, I don't want to say a kid because I'm not sure, I just know he's quite young, I'm sure, but there's a guy on YouTube, he's doing like Kenyan guy, I've totally forgotten his name, and I was literally looking for it. I watch it, but anyways, like J1 something sport or something like that. He does like football challenges content creation. There's the guy Odundo as well, Odundo Love Football. He does something like that as well, you know. And if you just give access, like for example on a media day, KPL Kenyan Premier League media day, or Chan media day, for example, just AFCON media day, where all the teams are coming, you know, you give these content creators access to play, you know, like keep you happy challenge with what's that man, I've forgotten his the Ivory Coast striker Sebastian Haller. You know,
Sebastian Haller. Yes.
I don't know why I thought about him first. It's just it's a name that came, the face that came in my head, and I just forgot. But you know, or you know, stuff like that. This is just it's content that we see other people do abroad, you know, and they're getting all of that, hundreds of thousands of views, and they're getting their money from TikTok and all of these other things, and that's a whole new revenue stream for so many people here.
Unfortunately, like you said, let's not mention people or what they do, but there are many weird shenanigans that happen on TikTok that could have been revenue streams if they're just used the right way. Amen to that. But I like the fact that you even brought in the whole idea of gaming, because we were going to talk about AI and the future of sports marketing. For gaming purposes, like you've talked about AFC 26, I play it right now, and I can't wait for the new update, because the new update will be centered along what these content creators have said about the game. So it's moved away from the researchers in the labs, in all those areas in the technological side, to actually this content creator, if it's ISO speed, if it's whoever, if it's there's this guy is called Kami, he's from Turkey, a large following, and every time he comes out with for example a challenge, a road to glory, you'll see EA down there commenting, following, meaning that whatever he says and he sees the interactions, they will change in the game. Now bringing it back to Kenya, do you think at some point, with the help of AI, obviously creating all these crazy reels and all these crazy shots, do you think that can shift the marketing perspective of how people see the FKF Premier League, or how even people see volleyball in Kenya? There's so many other games. We were talking about, Nikki, the other day, boxing, taekwondo, all these other games that are not being talked about.
I think there's actually like a little boxing event type thing that happens at Alchemist.
Yes.
On Tuesdays.
In Westlands, But you see now that has been taken up by that nightclub to showcase.
Okay.
And then you're wondering to yourself, okay,
where are you getting the boxers from?
Why hasn't someone stepped in from one of the federations and actually take it up and say, you know what, this is nice, let's pick it up? You said it off air. Some corporates are just afraid of the investment bit of it.
And I would say also, like, you'll find the people in some of these offices have been there for a long time and are just comfortable with the way things are going.
And their thoughts also are back in the day.
Yes, exactly. No, their thoughts are probably as forward as everything, because they're spending money to go to these conferences and stuff like that. But
bro, people go there and swatch. Trust me, we come back to the same stories. We have had a chairman in this country who has been there from 1981 of a federation. A chairman, and he's still there right now.
So you see,
bro, there's no moving forward there.
That's 44 years.
Thank you.
But what I feel like needs to improve also going forward is probably attracting the let's say, corporate investors into sports.
And
I think that's where marketing is really crucial when it comes to sports generally, because I won't, as a corporate, give you money if I'm not getting ROI from it.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So I think if we improve on the safety for attendance,
Yeah,
then
so
also
security. And then, no, I'm so sorry,
No,
I just
continue,
interrupted you.
continue.
No, please, Nikki.
I think the safety and working on the marketing, at least you've given us insights of what can be done to improve the marketing. I think that will help attract now the investors. Then they'll be less jittery about investing money in things.
They'll be less jittery, in terms of investing right there in terms of African sports marketing, in particular in Kenya. What is next with AI being all over the place?
Yeah.
What is next for content creators like you with AI? You can sit down right now, go into ChatGPT, create for me a reel that says Musa Amir was doing this and this and this in LA. 5 minutes, if I've paid for it, boom, it comes up. Someone will be like, yo, Musa said this. And then you come out and say, no, I didn't say this. The future.
That's crazy, actually, because these days there are actually video editors as well.
Yeah.
Like that you just prompt exactly and it'll give you even a very elaborate, what do they call it, motion graphic, whatever thing. So the truth is you just have to stay ahead of the times. And like once upon a time, there was no computer and then everybody had a computer.
Yes.
And then once upon a time, it was 5G, 8 GB and then now it's 10 TB, You just have to keep moving with the time and don't get stuck in one place as a content creator. But what? That's a very rich coming from me.
Yeah, you have to diversify your content.
Diversify.
Yeah, I mean, streaming is becoming really popular now, I think even there's a pretty popular Nigerian stream, I think it's called like Shank Comics or something like that. He made it to now tour in the UK, similar to what Speed is doing. Speed is actually Speed.
He's a streamer.
He is. He's doing an Africa tour over December and January, and my suspicion / my theory is that he's going to AFCON.
Oh, you think so?
It's in Morocco, which is like Africa Light.
Yeah.
Africa Light.
Yeah, it's like a cheeky, good, easy introduction into Africa. But don't be confused by these North African countries. They're just as African as the rest of Africa. Just as.
Opinion, she'll tell you off air about that. But yeah, like you said, AFCON happening this December, right there. Him getting into Morocco again as a streamer, as a gamer.
Let me ask you guys now. When Musa is saying it like that, doesn't it feel like as if he's being used as a marketing tool to attract non-Africans into an African what do you call this tournament? Because think about it.
No. But what I wanted to why I was bringing up the Morocco thing is because they've released an app.
Yes.
For you to access tickets and you can actually apply for your e-visa to get to Morocco through this app.
Through the app,
yeah. I'm just thinking like we're speaking about the future on technology and sports and stuff like that.
Yes,
and Kenya is going to be hosting AFCON in 2 years,
2027.
So do you think not do you? I guess now I'm posing the questions.
Opinion, yes.
Now I'm posing the questions.
Yeah,
it's fine. Take over the show, bro. This is what we like.
Yeah, do you think Kenya will ease people's arrival into Kenya, for example, the other African countries, media people who want to take videos in public everywhere, content creators who want to go do things like that, and also the app. Because you can't get any ticket without going through the app to get your fan ID.
Fine. So here's my take on that is the blueprint worked very well with Chan, although there are a few hiccups with ticketing, and that's something that they can.
There wasn't a fan ID at Chan, which is I've only attended one international. I went to AFCON in 2019 in Egypt, and that was it was the second tournament after FIFA introduced fan ID. So any FIFA, CAF, whatever related tournament has to have a fan ID.
So this one we didn't have.
No, this was it was AFCON Light.
There's a lot of light with you today, LITE. So, I mean, the blueprint with Chan, in my opinion, worked very well in terms of getting the fan base, getting guys to go and watch the games, which is paramount. Now, secondly, the technology bit of it that we need to embrace, like you've talked about, an app whereby you can get your fan ID, where you can get all your tickets. That is something that can be implemented easily. Remember, now this is AFCON. There's Chan, yes, local players. AFCON, you're getting even Kina Hakim, you're getting all these guys, Kina Mohamed Salah coming down in 2027, God willing, and it will be a spectacle.
I hope so.
That point, I think at that point, more than ever, content creation, aside from the normal way sports are being televised, not only televised but broadcast, where via journalists, via accredited journalists and all that, that shift will change, because content creators easily, you've talked about ISO speed. The other day he was drumming for Cristiano Ronaldo.
And Ronaldo was there giving him the instructions, That's
the
the best
goal.
football player in the world, allegedly. And some 16 and some 20-year-old kid from Ohio.
Doing that. That is the connection. And definitely for me, I believe Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania in 2027 for AFCON, that is going to be the driving force. It has to be technological, like you've said. It has to be driven in a way that it's not only informative, but entertaining. Entertainment has to be there.
It's true. And so another thing also, so every game, by the way, should have like a fan zone during CAF tournaments. I think that's part of the requirements. I think it happened a little bit later on with Chan. I don't think it was there in the first few games, but later on they introduced them.
I mean, we have so many clubs around, if they want to make business, again, that's a business idea I'm just giving out right there. Yeah, you get in contact with some of these federations from other countries. We're like, for example, we are a club on Thika Road, or we are a club in Malaysia or something, who would like to be the home base for your fan bases before you go and watch the game, or for the ones who can't go and watch the game are welcomed here.
Exactly.
Like what you said was happening in LA.
Yes, because like, so away games, when the team travels, and that country is huge, so you'll be going 3,000 miles to go play Cincinnati FC, something like that. And the fans are not going to travel that much, man. That's an expensive trip. It's a tiring trip, and you have work, and people have children, and blah 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 blah. So going to your local watch party, where the club will have people set up there to give you free stuff, host games and things like that, just make it a fun time, basically.
Man, I really hope that all these federations are listening right now. Spot FM, this is the kickoff. We have had Musa in studio right now. Musa Amir, who's a sports management graduate, content creator, and a marketing strategist. And he is not only backing up what he's saying right here just because his English is impeccable. He has worked at areas that this is actually happening. Los Angeles Football Club right there, also locally with the likes of KBC and Ebru TV. As you're just heading out, like we're saying that last bit about Kenyans talking, kabla watoke. You said it can never be a minute to 30 minutes.
Yeah, it could be 10 seconds or 30 minutes.
One last thing before we let you go.
The future of sports is bright.
Right.
There are high quality athletes, and I believe well-intentioned people. I mean, that's mostly because I'm an optimist.
Right.
And there are some very, very, very determined, hardworking people doing great content. I'd like to mention, shout out to the guys from Box to Box. Those guys are super determined. They're pushing their local sports, international sports, all different types of sports. He's got a full team now. He's got a full team now, and I remember I was watching him from back anyway. Just big up to him. And there's so many other people, we've got Nyash, who's here at sports, whatever, right now. There's so many people, man. You've got the guy, lads from 1-2 TV.
There you go.
There's too many,
Kina Jonito with Zoza podcast right there.
Yes, dude, I love that Zoza spot. I love those guys, man.
Yeah. So they cannot be ignored when we're talking about the future of sports in Kenya and in terms of content creation. They can't be ignored.
But of course now, there's a lot of roadblocks in terms of what the there's government roadblocks here and there, and misorganization from here, in this you hear this group of people are doing this in this board and blah blah blah, but there are quality athletes, there's quality storytelling, And sports marketing isn't just banners and billboards. It's storytelling.
I like what you just said. It's all banners and billboards. Because people will put 3 or 4 billboards in town and expect you to go and attend the game.
Should have said banners, billboards, and buses.
And all right, that has been Musa Amir, sports management graduate, content creator, and marketing strategist. Asante sana for coming through, bro. Thank you so much for the insights. And a big shout out to all the guys who are doing content creation out there. We are supporting you. We are there. We are actually doing it just on a formal, different way. But it's still content creation. So you know what, big up to all you guys. And most of the people that you've mentioned, actually, Queen Nikki and I have interacted with them one way or another. We know each other so well. You're talking about Degs at Box to Box, if you're talking about Takita Makumi, if you're talking about Jonito, you're talking about Nyash who works here with us. So in terms of content creation, that's the way to go. And in terms of making the sports get out there. So Chief, asante sana for coming through.
Asante sana for having me.
Welcome again. And when you come next time, anza niyo Kiswahili ulikuwa unamaliza nayo saizi. Because now I've said impeccable English alafu kasema wazi juu.
Haina noma buda.